I'm not necessarily sure how structured this is going to be, but I have never seen a worse follow-up to a pay-per-view show ever with this Dynamite. This was awful. And I'm not even saying that the wrestling was bad. In fact, a lot of it was good. But who's going after MJF? Who's going after Christian Cage? What's the next rivalries? It sounds like they're really talking about this Continental Classic. Why are you attaching this championship to two other champions where a champion is already there? With Eddie Kingston, is he vacant of the titles? Why were they sitting there? It doesn't make sense. And here's the thing. Why isn't Swerve going after the AEW World Champion? Why is he wasting his time in this Continental Classic bullshit? Seriously, why is he wasting his time? God, sometimes I get pissed off when the G1 questions their fucking choices. Yeah, no, let's put the world champion, the IWGP World Champion, in the G1, which gets a championship match for that world champion in Wrestle Kingdom. That's the dumbest shit ever. Why are they putting the clear number one goddamn motherfucking contender in the match that should be going for the AEW World Champion? If it's not, then what the fuck is going on here? Why are we wasting our time? For Tony Khan to jerk off daddy a little bit more, for him to have a little bit more money, to bring in another bullshit title that will mean nothing? Is that really what's going to happen here? And I'm sorry, this entire show we had, I'll go through it fairly quickly because a lot of it was around this Continental title nonsense. Oh, and here's that clear number one contender there, jerking fucking off as the curtain jerker with Jay Lethal. Probably one of the better matches on the entire show, and Swerve won because, of course, he should be. But once again, wasn't Jay Lethal supposed to be one of those game changers? Wasn't that really what was supposed to happen? At the very least, the match was good. Swerve is still wasting his time. He should be going after MJF instead of wasting his time with this third wheel bullshit nonsense title. Orange Cassidy, thumbs up. Here's the one thing about Dynamite that doesn't make any sense. So we had a couple of segments that did not have a graphic. Why? So it was not only this Better Than You Bay segment with Samoa Joe, which I actually did kind of like, but at the same time, the Patriarchy had a segment where Luchasaurus was renamed Killswitch without changing anything else. Nick Wayne was named the Prodigy, even though he is the dork who gets absolutely annihilated every time. Yeah, Luchasaurus lose one match, but it's really Nick Wayne who is the dumb shit who continues to be awful, void of talent, void of charisma. I'm sorry, people sitting there saying, oh, Nick Wayne is the future. If he's the future of goddamn wrestling, then Bruno Sammartino is rolling in his grave. This guy is awful. He looks like he hasn't been in a gym in his entire existence. His moveset sucks. He has no charisma. Why are people jerking him off? You know why? Because Tony Khan jerks him off. That's literally the only excuse. Anyway, Nick's mom was awful. She was going to get hit with Concerto until Adam Copeland came in and hit that Concerto on Nick Wayne, making him look like a continuous dork. So both of these segments gets a double thumbs down, well, at least one thumbs down for both, and a fuck you for both of them. Back to the graphics. This meant absolutely nothing. It was a nothing sandwich. Danhausen came out, nobody cared, and it was Red Rum for the win. Oh, by the way, this gets a thumbs down and a fuck you. We had a triple threat match with a lot of nonsense. This match was fucking awful in every way, shape, and form. That ending was so botched, I can't even describe it appropriately. This was so bad. It was a hideous cutter for Sky Blue to win. It was fucking... Did Sky Blue win? Does it matter? Does it legitimately matter who won? It was Anna Jay or Sky Blue. It was one of the two. It was awful in every way, shape, and form. It could say double thumbs down and a double fuck you. Then we had the other Continental Classic match between Rush and Jay White, which I actually did like. I like this match too. Here's the thing. If this was for whoever wins gets a number one contendership for the AEW World Champion, then at the very least, you establish a hierarchy of main eventers. You don't do this with a brand new shiny ass title because now everybody looks like they're not worthy of going after the AEW World Champion. God. Seriously, I know Samoa Joe is the next contender, but you have so many other great talents. And it's after the Samoa Joe match, because guess what? The finals are at World's End, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Who cares? But yes, World's End. Samoa Joe and MJF are going at the title at World's End. Have the winner of this Continental Classic be the next contender. It's right there. God, this shit's so not goddamn complicated. Anyway, it was a Blade Runner for Jay White to win. I like the match. I'm going to give it a full thumbs up. The presentation of Toni Storm was ruined by that god-awful triple threat women's match. That shit was ass. She did not look like an actual main eventer or the women's world champion. Where was Hikaru Shida? Where was Julia Hart? Are these people not there because they feel more important than Timeless Toni bullshit? And I like Timeless Toni Storm, but she won this world champion. It should have been a bigger deal. If Sky Blue is the next actual contender, I'm pretty much going to throw up. And then we have our main event, Jon Moxley and Mark Briscoe. Why? Because Jon Moxley just cannot stand having other people as the world, as the world champion, as the main event. Talk about a guy who has an ego. I'm just going to call him John Hogan at this point, or Hulk Moxley, or maybe go back into the goddamn... He's clearly drunk. And that's coming from me right now. He still thinks he's an actual main eventer, even though he's been dog shit for a minute. Where Mark Briscoe, scratch that, wrong name. Jay Briscoe's brother continues to be out there, continues to do the same exact shit, and them talking about Jay Briscoe more than the guy wrestling. So he's not Jay Briscoe, he's Mark Briscoe's brother. It was Death Rider for Jon Moxley to pin Mark Briscoe's brother. It was a fine match. It gets an Orange Cassidy thumbs down. I think Rush and Jay White should have been the main event. Hell, I would have actually taken Jay Lethal and Swerve Strickland over this match. This was the worst out of the three of them, and this was the main event. And that was Dynamite. No, seriously, that was all of Dynamite. Let me know what you thought about not only my video, but this dog shit Dynamite in the comments down below. Or right over here next to me, subscribe to the channel, become a patron, get all that great shit. Link is in the bio or in the description. And as always, be majestic.